Hello all. In today's lecture, we are going to learn about how we are going to calculate future value of annuity due. As we have already discussed in the previous video about the future value of ordinary annuity. So let's talk about annuity due. As we have already discussed what do you mean by annuity due in our previous lecture. So for the details, you can just go over the previous videos and you can search what do you mean by annuity due. I have also given the example for the of insurance. That means whenever we are going to pay insurance, our first installment that is paid is at the end of year 0, or you can say at the current period. So the annuity due means that whenever you are making the payment, or whether there is a cash flow inflow or cash outflow, the first installment will be at the 0 period. Your second installment will be at the end of year 1. Third installment will be at the end of year 2. Your fourth installment will be at the end of year 3. Fifth installment will be end of year 4 and so on. And your last installment will be at the end of n-1 period. In the previous example, we have just taken the example. Suppose we have 8 periods. So over here my n will be 8 and over here n-1 will be 7. Now one thing more that you have to remember, that over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 represents your period. If your period is years, that means 1 will represent end of year 1, 2 will represent end of year 2, 3 will represent end of year 3 and so on. And if your period is in months, so 1 will represent end of month 1, 2 will represent end of month 2 and so on. If your period is in quarters, your 1 will represent end of quarter 1, 2 will represent end of quarter 2, 3 will represent end of quarter 3 and so on. So do remember that what this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this number line represents. Now over here let's take an example that we have 8 years. So over here my period is 8. Now let's see that how much amount we are going to get if my yearly installment is going to be for 8 years. Or let's say you are going to deposit the amount in your bank. You have opened a recurring deposit and you are depositing your amount on the starting of every period, and you are depositing for 8 years. So your first installment is at the current year, that means at 0 period. Second installment will be at the starting of year 2, or you can say at the end of year 1. So whatever be the end of year 1, that will be the starting of next period. Similarly 2 you can say end of year 2, or you can say starting of year 3. So your first installment will be at 0 period, second will be at 1, then third will be at 2 and so on. So whenever you are depositing your amount at the end of 0 period, or you can say starting of first period, on that amount you are going to get the interest for n period. Now over here in our example, if we have taken our year is 8 years, so let's count. So your 1 year will complete it at the end of 1 year, your second year, your third year, your fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, seventh year and your 8th year. So over here your 8 years are completing, so you are going to get the interest for nth period. Now if you are depositing the amount at the end of year 1, on this amount you are going to get the interest for n-1 period. Over here you are we have taken the example for 8 years, so n-1 means 7. So if you are depositing the amount at the end of year 1, you are going to get the interest for 7 years. For the next amount, you will get the interest for n-2. That means in our example, if 8 is n, so you are going to get the interest for 6 years. For the next, you are going to get the interest for n-3. In our example, you are going to get the interest for 5 years. For next, you are going to get the amount, or you can get the interest for n-4 years. That means in our example, since n is equals to 8 years, so you are going to get the interest for 4 years. For next installment that you have paid at the end of 5th year, on that you are going to get n-5 years interest. That means you are going to get the interest for 3 years in our example. The amount that you are depositing at the end of 6th year, on that you are going to get the interest for n minus 6, which means 2 years. And on the last installment that you are depositing on n minus 1 period, that means in our example 7th year, you are going to get the interest for n minus 1. And if you are going to open this bracket, this n will be cancelled with this and you will left with 1. So on the last installment that you are paying, on that you are going to get the interest for 1 year. Now let's see the amount, that what amount we are going to get it. So on this first installment, our amount will be P1 plus R raised to power n. As we have already know that whenever we have to calculate future value, since we are depositing at the end of 0 period and we are going to get the amount at the end of nth period, so my future value will be principal, or you can say present value, multiplied by 1 plus R, that means whatever be the rate of interest, and raised to power your n, number of period. Now on the next installment, your amount will be P1 plus R raised to power n minus 1, because in this part we are going to get the interest for n minus 1 period as discussed in the previous slide. On the next amount, you are going to get the interest for n minus 2 period. For next, it will be your interest will be n minus 3. For next, your amount will be P1 plus R raised to power n minus 4. And it goes like this till your last installment, on which you are going to get the interest for 1 year, as we have already discussed in the previous slide. Now, whenever we have to calculate the future value of annuity, we have to add all these amount that we are getting over here. That means you have to plus it. So now let's add it. Now if you are going to add all this amount, you are going to get this equation. So we can write it over here. It will be future value of annuity, and over here n will represent your number of years. So your first installment is getting the amount of P1 plus R raised to power n. Second is getting P1 plus R raised to power n minus 1. On third, you are getting P1 plus R raised to power n minus 2, and so on. And on the last installment, you are getting your amount will be P1 plus R raised to power n minus 2. It's by mistake, the bracket should not be here. And on the last installment, it will be P1 plus R n minus 1. So now if you are going to open this thing, so it will be n minus n plus 2. And over here we are going to open the bracket, it will be n minus 1 plus 1. So this n and this n will be cancelled, and similarly over here also this n and this n will be cancelled. So we are left with 1 and 2 over here. So you can see that over here your complete amount, future value of annuity, will be P bracket 1 plus R raised to power n plus P plus R1 plus R raised to power n minus 1, then n minus 2, n minus 3 till it reaches 1. One thing more, if you are going to notice over here, it's going in a decreasing order. The first term is n, then n minus 1, then n minus 2, n minus 3, and we have taken n minus 2, n minus n. So it's going in a decreasing order. Now what we can do, we can take P common. So if we take the P common, from the first amount we are left with 1 plus R raised to power n. From the next, we are left with 1 plus R raised to power n minus 1. From the third, we are left with 1 plus R raised to power n minus 2, and so on till we reaches 2 and 1 as a power. Now, since it is in a decreasing order, now what we are doing, we are putting it into the increasing order. So what I have done, I have put this figure as first, then I have put this figure, and in the last I have put this figure. So first term is 1 plus R raised to power 1, 1 plus R raised to power 2, and the last term is 1 plus R raised to power n. Now if you will look this figure, that means the part which is there in this bracket term, it's forming a part of GP, that is geometric progression. So now let's see only the bracket term. We are not considering P right now. So this is forming the GP, and GP means, that is first term in GP is A, next term in GP is AR, third term is AR square, and fourth term AR cube, and it moves till ARn. Over here I have taken A to be 1 plus R. Similarly, R is also 1 plus R. Now if you are going to see, A is 1 plus R, that is I am getting 1 plus R. Second term is AR, that means 1 plus R multiplied by 1 plus R. Since base is common, so we can plus the power, so it's coming to be 1 plus R raised to power 2. Third term of GP is AR square. That means instead of A we can write 1 plus R, and instead of R square we can write 1 plus R to power 2. Now since base is same, now if you are going to add 1 plus 2, it's going to be 3. So we are getting 1 plus R raised to power 3. So this term is forming a GP. Now if we are going to see the sum of first n terms of GP, that formula is A bracket start R ki power n minus 1 upon R minus 1. So what we are going to do? We are going to substitute these values in this formula. So if we are going to substitute these values in the formula, instead of A I will write 1 plus R, and instead of capital R I am going to write 1 plus R. So if I am going to write 1 plus R instead of A and R, I am going to get this amount. So this will be 1 plus R bracket start 1 plus R raised to power n minus 1 upon 1 plus R minus 1. Now if we are going to open the bracket in the denominator, it will be 1 plus R minus 1. So 1 and 1 are cancelled. We are left with R. So the sum becomes 1 plus R multiplied by 1 plus R raised to power n minus 1 divided by R. So if we see the future value of annuity, we already know that we have taken P as common. So it will be P, either you can write either P or you can write present value. It will be P 1 plus R raised to power n minus 1 upon R multiplied by 1 plus R. So this will be your formula for future value of annuity due. Now let's see the difference between the formulas of future value of ordinary annuity and future value of annuity due. The only difference is of 1 plus R. You have to remember that whenever you are calculating the future value of ordinary annuity, this is the formula P bracket 1 plus R raised to power n minus 1 upon R. But if you are calculating the formula of annuity due, you have to multiply 1 plus R with the formula of ordinary annuity. Second thing that you have to remember over here, you can apply this formula only if your installments are equal. That means every month or every year or every quarter, that means every period, whatever installment you are depositing or you are receiving, that means whatever cash inflow or outflow is there, that should be equal. If you are getting or you are giving the unequal installment after every regular interval of time, then you cannot apply this formula because we cannot take P as a common. So just remember this, that this formula is applicable only in the condition when the principal amount is common. Every period either we are getting or we are depositing the same amount. Hope you have understood the concept of future value of annuity due, how we are going to calculate it. For further reference, you can refer the book Financial Management. Thank you.